Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the News You Missed Recapped, the weekly show that recaps all the major gaming news articles and stories that come out in one big podcast formatted video. You can tune me in the background, go off, do whatever you need, or you can watch as this video is lightly edited so you won't miss out too much if you just have me in the background. Now, there's a few things I have to detail and discuss before jumping to the news. It's pretty important and you're going to want to listen to it. First of all, I am somewhat ill. The changing of the seasons have left me sounding not so great, so I greatly apologize for that. And the second major thing I have to discuss is that my patron giveaways are open to all of YouTube now. Due to patrons' terms and service of use, I cannot exclude people from giveaways. Therefore, if I open the giveaways to everyone on YouTube, I can still do them on Patreon. If you like to be in specific tiers, you can head over to Patreon and do your thing. But other than that, that's all I have to say about that. It's just important to note that everyone on my YouTube channel is now open to the giveaway. Also, if you guys would like to stay in contact with me on Twitter and Discord, those options are available to you, and I will leave them in the description below along with all of these stories I will be discussing today. Now, without further delay, we should just jump right into the news. So the first story I want to cover, and the first set of stories, are Nintendo related. So the first one being Tetris 99 Weekend Event is going to be giving top 99.9 winners $10 in eShop credit. So just under 1,000 people are going to get $10 eShop money for being the top winners on the leaderboards. That's pretty cool, I gotta say, for a free-to-play game that you literally don't have to pay anything for, and there's no advertisements or massive microtransactions on the Nintendo Switch. That's awesome. I'm not really sure where they get the money or the revenue from, but apparently they have it. So that's really, really cool. I don't know what you would do with $10. You could get any number of indie games. It could go towards a major AAA purchase. Imagine you have all but $5 of a AAA purchase, and you just can't get the game, and you get this $10 eShop credit. There you go. You can get that AAA game you really wanted. So I think that's really, really sweet, and I really hope that they continue to do that stuff because it's a big incentive to continue playing the game and actually strive for the top spot. Now we're going to move along to something much older. An NES game has been found after 30 years. It's nothing special, it just seems to be some type of wrestling game. This is very strange. There's a person who has decided to show it, YouTuber Stefan Reese, or Reyes, whichever way he says his name. Archon1981 is the username. They got a hold of a copy called UWC, which stands for Universal Wrestling Corporation. Basically, what it is before Ted Turner had purchased it, the WCW World Championship Wrestling, this is a game that was apparently based upon that. It's not an incomplete game by any means. It seems pretty well done as far as NES games go. You can go ahead and look at the dated graphics and see if it's great or not. Obviously, in the early years of the NES, before a lot of tricks were made, very little depth of field and things like that being put to use here, but nonetheless, it's pretty interesting that the guy says he bought it off a former Nintendo employee and was given the game simply for testing because he was a wrestling fan, where it had been for 30 years. So that's pretty crazy to uncover a game that really wasn't even promoted, released, or talked about. I mean, it's not like this game was just literally canceled after continuously being promoted, not something like Mother 3 and Earthbound 64. It's just a game that was never known about. So that's cool. It's complete. I'm sure eventually it will become a ROM for people to play themselves. So that's awesome. Nintendo is moving into the virtual reality, and I'm not talking about the Virtual Boy, though rest in peace, Virtual Boy. We're talking about simple, friendly fun. Nintendo LABO. Yeah, the return of Nintendo Cardboard is in the house. Folks, I make fun of Nintendo LABO, but people are clearly going to make Nintendo VR about this. I don't know how well it'll work. Just to be perfectly frank, obviously you're going to have to modify the Nintendo LABO kit to actually be able to sit upon your face while you're using the two Joy-Cons or a controller to support the game that you're playing. I can imagine that Breath of the Wild VR would be pretty fun, but is it actually VR if it's just strapped to your face? I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if other Nintendo games would work with this product, but that's what I'm thinking the masses would actually enjoy a lot more than what they've given us. I mean, there's things that are very, very strange here. If you just look at what they've put out and shown with this VR kit, it's interesting. I'm not entirely sure what you would do with this aside from play some mini games. It's very similar to the side games that Nintendo does, but they seem to have a lot of different kits lined up for you to purchase and play with. Again, these kits are going to be quite expensive. You're paying around $60, $70 to $80 for essentially virtual reality apparatus for the Switch that's made out of cardboard and some software. So there you go. Whether you think that's worth it or not, it really is your choice and it's your money, but it seems Nintendo is delving into VR, and that's probably where all of our thoughts of VR and leaks of VR were coming from because of that kit. Detective Pikachu gets PG rating. That's awesome because a lot of people need to see Detective Pikachu, not just children. You know, PG-13 wouldn't have been really great, considering small children would want to see the movie, and a lot of overprotective parents would probably say, hey, you know, as PG-13, you can't be watching that. So PG rating is really, really good and important for Detective Pikachu. I'll definitely be seeing the movie, and I will be going ahead and summarizing my experience with the movie. I'm not a movie reviewer, not really, so I don't know what I can add to it, but I think you guys will enjoy my review of it, so that's what I'll do. If you guys are interested in Detective Pikachu, you can check out the trailers, but I would definitely like to know in the comments if you're going to go see that movie or not. Now, we're going to move on to something pretty interesting. Nintendo tells its mobile partners to limit microtransactions so that players don't spend too much. Now, this is pretty crazy. Nintendo are interesting. They've gone on record to say many times if they did the same thing that their competition was doing, they would not exist today. And I completely agree with them. Things come and things go, and what works for Nintendo is doing things outside the box, outside the paradigm. So there's a lot of games that have been exceptionally successful, like Fire Emblem Heroes and Dragalia Lost. Really, really good games. Nintendo has adopted a consumer-friendly practice to request that they limit, because they don't want people to be spending thousands upon thousands of dollars. Now, here's the biggest thing about that story. The developer Cry Games, which represents Dragalia Lost, stated and went on record to say, Nintendo is not interested in making a large amount of revenue from a single smartphone game. If we managed the game alone, we would have made a lot more. Now that speaks volumes, because that's the company literally saying we could have made way more money if we just managed it ourselves. Wild to think that Nintendo wants to limit the purchases just to keep their brand recognition intact. They don't want to be a microtransaction, money-hungry type of company. They make tons of money as it is. If you guys forgot, Pokemon Go was grossing millions upon millions and still does gross a great amount of money every single month from people who just spend money on it. And I definitely could see that happening with a lot of these other games as well. So clearly Nintendo are pushing towards brand recognition more than just making as much money as possible. And a lot of other companies could learn from their practices. Nintendo's been around for over 40 years now, and were around for a lot longer before they jumped into video games and gaming itself. So a lot of these other companies should really learn from what Nintendo does, because they last. Nintendo's also putting out Kid Icarus and Startropics on the Nintendo Switch Online service. So that'll be coming 3/13 if you guys are interested. If you guys have that Nintendo Online membership, you get to play all of the NES games. And again, I don't necessarily think it's worth it. If you have a hacked NES, you can play all of these games anyways, but it is a bonus for people who play online. And it's something very, very nice that they just throw in. Startropics is a pretty cool game. A lot of people really, really like it. It's kind of hard to describe for me. I didn't really play it that much. But Kid Icarus is very, very similar to Metroid. Uses similar Metroid graphics, Metroid styling of jumping up and around on platforms, shooting things here and there. It's a good game. It's an interesting game. Difficult, but fun nonetheless. I played it on my 3DS when I was a Nintendo ambassador over on 3DS, so not a bad game at all. Not bad to have for free, just for paying for online, though there are better games out there. Anyways, we're gonna move right along. We're gonna discuss a streamer, this person named Faith, TSM Pro, Fortnite player Cowboy, whom is apparently married, sent inappropriate text messages to an underage female streamer. When speaking to the streamer who wants to remain anonymous, she was made uncomfortable. Cowboy has since deleted his Twitter and Discord. Alright, let's get into this. Long story short here is that obviously if there were messages, there's more than one. But in this little clip, she states and shows that he was complimenting her on her appearance with a winking face. When you get into this emoji talk, guys, don't fall into the trap of using emojis that might be subjectively taken or interpreted as something that's completely different. You gotta be careful when you text females out there, boys. I'm just gonna let you know right now, they can screw your life over really, really hard. They can place some sexual harassment charges on you very, very easily. So be very, very cautious and don't misinterpret signals or messages like that. I'm just trying to help you out. You don't gotta take my advice. But I'm telling you, there's plenty of people who spend jail time for thinking something that they were incorrect about. They hooked up with a chick and then she pressed charges. So you gotta be very, very careful, especially on an underage person. Now, a lot of people are pointing out that this person, this streamer, whomever it is kind of fabricating this or making this situation more than it is. I kind of agree to a point. Because if you're sending a message to a 16-year-old, period, if you're above the age 18, you're a creeper, period. I'm sorry. Unless you were in high school with this person, unless you knew this person while you was in high school, unless this person is your cousin or some type of family friend, why are you messaging a minor? I mean, maybe she's above the age of consent, but do you really want to risk it and go to prison? Do you really want to get a charge against you for lewd conduct against a child? Do you really want an investigation to come at you? If you're sending these messages to an 18-year-old girl, really the worst that could happen to you is sexual harassment, and that's a massive matter that would have to be put together. And if it's not true, the likelihood of that coming through, not gonna happen that well. But if you're sending messages to a 16-year-old girl and you're above the age 18, you're opening a can of worms, you're risking a lot. There are plenty of fish in the sea, so go get a fish that's the age of 18 and above. I'm just throwing it out there. You don't have to take my advice once again, but things like this, articles like this, news stories like this, big tweets from massive Twitters pop up, and it can ruin your life and your social career forever. One small action can ruin your life forever. So don't do it. Don't fall into that. You can investigate the story yourself, once again, if you want to learn more about it. We're going to move along, and we have something a little bit cringy for some people not. Full Sonic renders have popped up, and yeah, I really wish they had gone with a more cartoon approach. I can't say anything about this, just to be perfectly frank. I don't like it. I don't hate it, but it's just like, man, why did you guys do this? Why didn't you just keep them a cartoon? Oh well, whatever. People's vision, sometimes it doesn't turn out the way they thought it would turn out, and this is probably the case with the full Sonic render for the movie. So there you go. Sakurai often works with an IV drip to manage his stomach pain. So check this out. You guys know the guy behind Smash Brothers, Sakurai? Yep, him. Okay, in an interview, he discussed and detailed about how he had some problems. He works a lot. He has a massive work ethic. He says he's a freelancer, and technically he doesn't have to come into the office just so long as the game gets done. They wouldn't care, pretty much, is what he's saying. But he comes in, he does his work every day, he gets the reports written, and that's his work ethic. And I'm really believing in what he says. He's a good man. He does what he needs to do. It's great. He's a great person to look up to. But he did say that he has had stomach issues and problems. He thoroughly cooks his food. He doesn't eat raw food. When interviewed about this, he said he's had symptoms like food poisoning, that somehow his food came into contact with things like oysters or something, and he got food poisoning from it. But instead of taking the day off, he said whenever this stuff would happen, whenever he would have stomach issues, stomach pain, he'd just go into work with an IV drip, just chilling, just sitting there, working on a computer, typing up reports, walking around with an IV drip, just rolling down the way. An IV drip is in the hospital where they have the bag propped up on a little hole and it drips down into your arm. It's literally needle and hooked up to your arm so that you're getting fed a live IV drip. It's insane that this guy is doing this and working like this, but hey, it's his choice, it's his work ethic. Once again, he has stated that he is a freelancer, so obviously he doesn't want to give up his position. Obviously he loves his position and what he does, but it's still pretty insane to see that. Wow, man, you just gotta chill, bro, man. Take 5, take vacation, take like a 2-year vacation. You deserve it for doing that stuff. Fortnite has an update, and it adds Slipper Duos mode, Buried Treasure, and more. If you guys are interested in the Fortnite update, I would strongly suggest that you check that out. It comes with complete with buried legendary booty, whatever. And the ability to drop multiple sprays in creative mode, treasure maps, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool because the theme was treasure for this season. So there you go. If you guys are into Fortnite, make sure to check the details there. Now, Blizzard's original Diablo is available on GOG storefront. I have a GOG affiliate code, and I will link the storefront here with my affiliate code so that you can buy that, and you will be supporting the channel if you do decide to take that link and support me and the channel by purchasing Diablo there. Diablo, the original Diablo, was amazing, absolutely great. A lot of people think Diablo 2 was the best Diablo. I think Diablo 3 is amazing. I think Diablo 1 and 2 are both amazing. Diablo itself, if it is working on GOG, there is likely going to be the ability to play multiplayer online because GOG gets those old games running so that you don't have to mess with DOSBox or compatibility mode or different window formats. So that's really, really nice. You just download the game, you run the game, and you get to play the original Diablo. If you never played the original Diablo, you probably don't know the story on why Diablo 2 and 3 happened, so it's important to know your roots. Check in Diablo, it's $10. $10 pretty cheap for a full-on PC game that runs perfectly. GOG is a very, very good site. It's DRM free, usually like 100% DRM free, so you don't even have to worry about being online and being able to log in. If you get this game, trust me, I'll be playing it online too, so I'll see you out there, folks. Friday the 13th is also coming. It's called the Game Ultimate Slasher Switch Edition. It's going to be revealed basically being the content that is paid DLC, Jason Kill Pack, both Counselor Clothing Packs, Emote Party Pack. However, the Kickstarter backer exclusives, Savani Jason character clothing pack, will be absent. So unfortunately, you won't be able to get that, but you get everything else. The overview of the game has all kinds of stuff included if you want to check in the store. It's coming spring 2019, so if you didn't happen to get to play Friday the 13th, the new version for the Xbox or the PlayStation or PC even, you can get it on Nintendo Switch now. I find it incredibly amazing that a Jason game is appearing on Nintendo, one of the most family-friendly consoles. Remember, I was just discussing family-friendly fun earlier, and now we're talking about Jason slaughtering camp counselors and things like that. Lots of blood, lots of gore, a very, very mature game. It shows how far Nintendo has come, but I think it's still great. If you guys have never played Jason or don't know about the Jason movies, quick Google search will get you right up to date. Check out some clips, and that's basically what you'll be doing in the game. So if it looks good to you, check into it. Devil May Cry 5 has come out, and it is an excellent game. Devil May Cry has had its ups and downs throughout the series itself. I think it's really, really great that it's come out. It's a stylish return to form. I really appreciate Devil May Cry 5. I think bringing back Dante and classic looks are very, very important to the series. I think it's very, very stupid to remove the iconic things about the series that made it work. So I think it's great that this game came out and it's good. I absolutely hate when these games of these long-running series release and they fall flat on their face. It makes me feel very, very bad, very sad for what the series could have been. And I think a lot of people feel the same way as me. If you guys have never played Devil May Cry, there's plenty of games out there that you can get into. I would strongly suggest getting the more recent entries because they are more user-friendly. Devil May Cry is traditionally just an action RPG type game where you can upgrade your stats, use different weapons, and overcome the enemies in a third-person viewed mode. And basically, you are half demon slaying other demons and stopping demons from taking over the planet. If that sounds good to you, or you might happen to be a minister or a priest, then you would probably love this game because you're killing demons. And it's pretty fun, it's stylish, you can rack up a lot of combos. Just check into it if it sounds good or looks good to you. Valve has blocked an explicit sexual assault game from appearing on Steam. You heard it right, the Steam game titled... Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh at this, but it's just like I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous. Okay, this person tried to get a game called Rape Day published on Steam. I mean, Jesus Christ, have mercy on me, Lord. I'm telling you, are you surprised that your game did not make it onto the Steam store? Well, he was surprised, folks, because check this out. Quote, my game was properly marked adult and with a thorough description of all potentially offensive content before coming soon. Page went live on Steam. It is up to Steam's discretion. They use a balancing act of using the rules to enforce what should and should not appear on the Steam page and what should not be available for the mass download. I'm always defending games, saying that art is art, but there is a fine line that you can ride. I don't approve pedophilia. I don't approve of slaughtering children and things like that. Art is art, but art be damned, in my personal opinion. If you're going to make art like that, you can make your own website and you can provide the download link there. I'm just saying you are not barred from still putting your stuff out on the internet. It's just these platforms have the right, and they reserve the right to not subject the people who use their platform to your art. I'm just going to throw it out there. Hey, someone actually leaked Apex Legends a year ago, but no one believed them. Yeah, in a Reddit post /Titanfall, we have good old alleged minimap, rumored Titanfall Battle Royale game, and that was almost 11 plus months ago, and it's basically Apex Legends map. So yeah, pretty crazy. Somebody actually did have the information of Apex Legends way before it was even released. I don't know, man. Sometimes leaks are real, sometimes they are not. We're going to move on. Oreo is actually partnered with Xbox to create an Oreo customized Xbox One X, which is pretty sweet. So if you guys would like to enter that contest, you can go ahead and, again, take the link down in the description below. I don't particularly like the white Xbox One X. I don't like the white Xbox One S because it doesn't match anything. I have an all-white PC, so that's literally the only thing it matches in my house. But my personal PC is black. My spare PC is all white. My TV is black. I don't know a lot of people with huge 55, 60, 75-inch TVs that are white. So, again, it's very strange. I think the Oreo customized one is pretty cool. But other than that, I don't know what else to say. It would make for a really, really good collector's edition in the future and probably go for a lot of money way in the future. But there you go. So we're going to continue the news with the Xbox One, and apparently there's the diskless Xbox One to release in May. I had talked about this before. This is an all-digital edition. I don't think this is really going to sell that well because, again, you can buy an Xbox One S right now for pretty cheap, and you get the digital side of it, and you also get the disc side of it. So if somebody gives you a game, you find a game in Goodwill, you find a cheap game in GameStop or Walmart or wherever, you could just pop it in. And then if you don't want to buy game discs, you could just literally buy digital content only. You still have the disc drive, you don't have to use it. So that's the point. I don't understand who thought this. Its code name is Xbox Maverick, but its actual name is reported to be the Xbox One S All Digital Edition. So not that cool of a name. Apparently it just won't have a disc drive. So you're paying for an Xbox One without a disc drive. Does that sound like a good deal? Because it sure doesn't to me. Anyways, you can go ahead and check into that if that's something you're very interested in. I'd be shocked if it has good sales. Speaking of consoles, we have the PS4 6.50 system update, which is going to allow in-game streaming on the iOS. So if you guys wanted to stream on your phones or your devices that run iOS, there's tablets out there, you can use a remote play app, again, and then you can log into the app with your PSN ID and you could just play PlayStation 4 games with an overlay on the screen. You could probably find a way to pair a controller to play it on that. I don't know. If you guys have wanted to stream games to some other device in your house but not be sitting in front of your TV, I think this will work out real great for when you're laying in bed or you're in a different room and somebody is using the TV, so you know you can't actually just use the TV, but you can keep the device on. That's basically what it is. So EA is going to have their play event preceding E3 once again, this year skipping the press conference. This is likely probably because EA wants to get a lot of press on them. They want to be the first ones to be watched. They want people to be hyped for what they have. And good luck, EA. The EA's been having a real bad time this year. I don't like to close on negative news, but I'm telling you, I have little hope for EA. EA has become something that is very, very negative, and I don't really know why they have gone this path. There's so many things they continuously do wrong. And not showing up for E3 and doing it before E3 just, again, kind of shows like they don't want to be a part of what everyone else is doing. They want to forge their own path, which is fine, but if you're doing it wrongly, if you're doing it bad, if you're doing things that people keep pointing out and saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, and you just do it anyways, you're not doing good for yourself. So there's that. EA is just not going to be showing up at E3, but beforehand, a few days. June 11th, I guess, I don't know, is when E3 is supposed to kick off, so they're going to be doing it June 7th to 9th in their own little press conference way. So there you have it, folks. That's this week's news. I would invite you to like and share this video, please, because it helps me out. It's absolutely free. Click that subscribe button, stay up to date, and always leave your thoughts about the stories in the comments below, because I do go through and try and read every single comment. I greatly appreciate the support here, and I'm going to go ahead and get off here and rest, because my voice is going. So once again, as always, good gaming, God bless. Thank you for taking the time out to watch this video.